Historically, everybody focuses on physical development, child growth, but actually what research tells us is that social and emotional skills are important. They're a much stronger predictor of our outcomes in adult life.
When we focus on nurturing these skills early in childhood, we're really setting our children up to develop those skills even further as they go throughout life.
People often think about writing and reading, which of course are all important, but actually, unless they learn to connect with each other, unless we build relationships, unless we show real love to those children, they really are not going to learn. So actually the social and emotional development, often underplayed, really should be overplayed.
It helps get them into speech and language, helps get them into good routines, behaviour patterns. Getting the social emotional development of children right allows them as a gateway into everything else to do with child development.
Babies have a full range of feelings, just like we do as grown-ups. So when parents really try and understand what's going on for their young child and try and think about what their baby or young child might want from them, then we can start to support social and emotional development by responding in the way that's best for the child.
The capacity for carers, parents, to give sensitive responding, to provide sort of joyful opportunities, that's such an important part of social and emotional development.
What the framework does is it pulls together these really important social and emotional skills that children learn throughout childhood, and it starts in pregnancy. And then the moment they're born, they want to communicate, they want to connect, even though they can't talk. They're like a giant sponge, soaking up the information about the world around them. And what we know is that they respond to sensitive, attuned parenting, a world which feels safe and predictable.
I think the cluster knowing ourselves is very important because it's literally about how children get what we call a sense of self, and that's quite important in the relationship because they then figure out where they are in relation to the rest of the world or the rest of their friends.
Knowing ourselves is really critical, and having that sense of our own agency and our capacity to influence ourselves and to influence others, and also the opportunity to think about how we can aspire and make a difference in the world.
By having those foundations of managing emotions, we then are able to form relationships with others, to have that resilience that we can actually tackle the world.
We'll have times of great joy in life as well as huge times of sadness. Many of us will experience that. And it's so important that we learn to manage that when we're little, when we've got people around us who can help us to manage those emotions safely.
If we don't have that skill, then what we might end up doing is reacting to that emotion in a way that's really unhelpful in our day-to-day lives.
One of the clusters in the framework is about focusing your thoughts. A young baby learning to stack a pile of bricks. The first few times they do it, they'll fall over, and actually as a parent, to support them, to give them encouragement as they're learning how to do it, builds perseverance, and that's really, really important for future adult life.
Focusing on our thoughts is critical in that regard. You know, it's one of the key drivers to how we then are relating to each other and understanding each other.
Communication with others for children is all about relationships.
We are teaching a baby the dynamics of listening and being listened to, and to actually speak to them, to talk to them, to play with them, allow them a space to make a noise, to make a babble. By talking to them, they understand that conversation and communication is a really important part of life and of development.
We can encourage them to know that it's okay to be able to communicate to their parents in whatever form that is, whether it's verbal or physical. That's a really important bit because that's where they learn how to progress and how to communicate with others. It's not just your child that's exploring this world for the first time, it's yourself.
Nurturing relationships, we're talking about the capacity to develop trust in others.
Practically what you can do is to love our babies, love our children, so that they know they're loved. Through that love, they learn what it is to actually love other people, to have stable relationships in return.
They need to feel that somebody will love them. Nurturing relationships is also amongst the adults. It's how we model to them.
We want to encourage children to be able to go out to the world in a safe way and explore things, explore their senses, smells, the touch, the taste.
Children are curious and interested in so many different things. For a child to be curious, they have to be secure.
The earliest years really matter. They help to shape who we are, how we interact with the world around us, make us feel secure, comfortable in who we are as a human being.
The warmth of relationships shapes us. The warmth of connections shape us.
What I love about the framework and what I love about the classes is actually, although they're set apart in these areas, they're actually connected and there's a golden thread that connects them. And the goal that we're seeking there is the fact that if we can achieve these skills, they will become the happier, healthier children, and that means we will have a happier and healthier society.